Salah didn't attend the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Is this a boycott of UEFA or mental health issues? What's really going on with Salah? In the 2025/26 season, which started for Liverpool with a defeat in the Community Shield, nervy wins in the early rounds of the Premier League and Champions League, the Egyptian forward found himself at the center of a storm. Critics pounced. He's as slow as a turtle in the desert. Age is catching up with him. Slot doesn't know where to play him. But Salah, as always, responded on the pitch, silently, or perhaps not so silently, with a brace in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid and an assist in the Merseyside derby against Everton. After these matches, the critics changed their tune and began praising the player again. And on social media? Once a ghost on Twitter, now X, he's suddenly more active than ever, posts about Palestinian footballers, replies to fans, subtle hints about his contract. This isn't a crisis, it's a transformation. In this video, we'll break down what's hiding behind the facade of the Egyptian king. Is this the end of an era or a new chapter? And are there mental health issues at play? Let's dive into the details. Before we start, a reminder. We have an app dedicated to the greatest team in the world, not according to France football, but according to history and objective facts. If you want to be the first to know everything happening behind the scenes at the club, follow the link in the description and pinned comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Let's get started. The 2025/26 season began for Arne Slot's Liverpool with optimism, a Premier League title the previous year, signings of young talents like Florian Wirtz, and Salah as the undisputed leader of the attack. But the early matches were a cold shower. A loss to Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. Salah's rating in that match was a shocking 4.7. Then came hard-fought wins at the start of the Premier League. Critics were ready and waiting, jumping at the chance to tear into him. "He's not creating chaos like he used to," wrote The Athletic in an article on September 15th, where Opta analysts noted a decline. His average sprints per match dropped from 10.97 in 2023/24 to 8.95 last season, and even lower to 7.2 in August-September. Experts claim Salah isn't happy at Liverpool right now. Slot plays a more controlled style of football, while Mo thrives on explosiveness and needs space. He looks tired. Comment below. Do you think Salah is slow and ready to retire? They point to tactical nuances. Under Jurgen Klopp, Salah was an inside forward starting from deeper positions, creating space for teammates. Slot, inspired by Feyenoord, emphasizes possession, 62% compared to 58% last season, and Salah finds himself on the wing, where defenders press him relentlessly. "He's running into a wall," Gary Neville quipped on the overlap. But the criticism went deeper, targeting his age. At 33, Salah is a grandfather in the Premier League, where the average age of forwards is 27. Goal.com referenced a thigh injury in January 2024 that cost him 10 matches, and his stats. In August 2025, his Football Critic form rating was 7.2 out of 10, with 1 goal in 4 games. He's not the Salah who scored 32 in 2017/18, they wrote, ignoring that he bagged 29 goals last season. This is the classic trap of football journalism. After a peak, they expect miracles. But the reality is adaptation to new circumstances. Why so harsh? Salah's contract expires in the summer of 2026, and FSG, Liverpool's owners, are skeptical about players over 30, as seen with Milner and Fabinho. Still, they gave him a 2-year deal for his performances in previous seasons and out of respect for his legacy at the club. Saudi Arabia is calling. Al Hilal offered 200 million euros, yet he's still with us. He's still a Red, despite all the criticism and pressure. Because Salah isn't one to be broken by noise. To understand how he became this way, we need to go back to his roots. Nagrig, a village in the Nile Delta, isn't a place that produces global superstars. Dusty streets, farmland, a simple life. That's where young Muhammad ran barefoot with a ball, dreaming of big stadiums. From age 14, he endured hours-long bus rides to Cairo to train with Arab contractors. It was exhausting, but those trips forged his character. His coaches recall he never complained, he just trained harder. In 2017, when Egypt had a chance to qualify for the World Cup after a 28-year drought, it was Salah who stepped up and coolly converted a penalty against Congo. In that moment, he became not just a footballer, but a national symbol. That he remains at his peak at 33 is no accident. Salah is obsessed with discipline. His UK home is like a mini rehabilitation center. Cryotherapy at -80 degrees Celsius, a hyperbaric chamber, yoga, and Pilates equipment. He controls every aspect of his body. He once joked in an interview, "I spend more time with recovery machines than with my wife." But there's truth in that. His diet is another key. Broccoli, fish, sweet potatoes, almost no sugar or gluten. Alcohol? None. The result? Over 6 seasons at Liverpool, he's missed minimal games. Salah is rarely injured, setting him apart from many peers. Despite global fame, he never forgets where he came from. In Nogrig, a center named after him operates, complete with a football pitch, an ambulance, and basic infrastructure, all funded by Salah. He supports widows and orphans, remaining a local boy who never forgot his village. In Egypt, they say, he's our ambassador. It's not just about goals for the national team. His charity, humility, and readiness to help have made him a national icon. And this is likely the main reason for his recent social media activity. If in 2023 his ex-posts were sporadic and match-focused, since August 2025, there's been a surge, over 15 posts in August-September. Remember when Salah responded to Liverpool fans mocking former teammates Diaz and Nunez? How about celebrating big transfers without disrespecting Premier League champions? It's not the first time. He previously criticized UEFA over a tribute to Palestinian footballer Suleiman Al-Obaid, killed in Gaza. Tell us how, where, and why he died. A subtle jab at Israeli strikes. Why now? First, age and experience. At 33, Salah no longer sees himself as just a player. He's thinking about his legacy and how he'll be remembered after retirement. Second, he understands the weight of his audience, a real force of influence. In an era where football is also politics and business, social media is his tool to shape his own narrative. There's a practical side too. Salah's contract with Liverpool is constantly discussed in the press, and Saudi clubs aren't hiding their interest. Every post is a signal to fans, management, potential partners. It's as if he's saying, "I control my story, and you can't dictate the rules to me." Critics link his activity to mental health struggles, suggesting he's cracking under pressure and can't accept the inevitable. Is that true? More likely the opposite. Salah has repeatedly said he avoids mindless social media consumption and advises young players to not believe the fake world. For him, activity on X and Instagram isn't an escape from reality, but a way to structure it, to find his voice. Yes, he's become sharper and more principled, but that feels more like confidence than a crisis. In an era when most footballers fear saying the wrong thing, Salah brings his thoughts to the surface. This candor only strengthens his image, not just the Egyptian king, but a player with the courage to be himself in a world where every word is scrutinized. Yesterday, in Paris, the Ballon d'Or was awarded, and Mohamed Salah's name rang loudly. He finished 4th in the final rankings. But the footballer himself didn't show up at the ceremony. This was known in advance. Salah didn't travel with Liverpool's delegation and deliberately skipped the event. Why? There's been no official statement from the club or Salah himself, leaving room for speculation. Some believe it's simple logistics. Match schedules, recovery, training priorities. Others see it as a sign of fatigue with the award show theater, where there's often more spectacle than football. There's also talk of a quiet protest. Individual accolades were never Salah's goal. He thinks in terms of trophies and team victories. What's the truth? The truth is simple and prosaic. At 33, Salah is experienced enough to distinguish what's important from what's secondary. For him, preserving his body and focus outweighs spending energy on glamorous evenings. His absence from the Ballon d'Or isn't a crisis but a mature choice, prioritizing work and health over public applause. Should he be criticized for this? Absolutely not. He has the right to decide what matters to him and what's just gloss. Criticism of Salah is often baseless. Slow, old, unhappy, these are subjective jabs without evidence. Opta stats show a temporary dip in sprints, but they ignore his adaptation to slot style and opponents' pressing. 29 goals last season debunk the age-related decline. There's no mental health crisis. His social media activity signals confidence, not distress. Salah isn't rattled by a shaky start. He responds on the pitch. A brace against Atletico, an assist in the derby. He's disciplined, gives his all, and lives by a strict regimen. Cryotherapy, diet, training. His absence from the Ballon d'Or isn't a protest, but a focus on work. Salah is transforming, not declining. Follow the legend, not the gossip. Also, follow our channel, like and subscribe. In the comments, let us know what topic you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, and you'll never walk alone.